What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and we've got an interesting topic to discuss. One that, the thing I want to discuss is simply the way the media handles certain situations like this based on the individual involved. What I want to be clear is the only person to blame is the person, this does not absolve the person that actually did it from anything, right? If you go into one of these places and you do what these psychos do, you're a loser, you're a piece of garbage, and I hope that you burn for eternity, okay? And I don't care if you're a Trump voter or a Biden voter or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? So I want to put everything aside, like the politics of it, and say, whoever these people vote for or whatever they, whoever they hook up with in their real life, they are obviously deeply damaged psychopaths, and they are the true villains. I'm not going to ever absolve anyone of any guilt, regardless of their political affiliations. But if you blinked this morning, you missed a pretty big story about a LGBTQ activist going into an Iowa school today and doing what apparently this group of people have been doing like crazy for the probably 5 out of the last 7, I believe, incidents like this were perpetrated by either members of this group or activists in this group. And it is my opinion that it is a direct result of the rhetoric used by mainstream media. Mainstream media has convinced, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, has convinced members of these marginalized groups or these minority groups of people. I don't mean black people. I don't mean it in the boomer minority way, but in these small groups of people. They've convinced them through their own rhetoric, the media's rhetoric, and the left-wing Twitter's rhetoric, that, people want them eradicated off the planet. They are literally, again, in my opinion, being radicalized by the rhetoric from the left. This is an unofficial count of the last several incidents at schools, and as far as this is how it's. Here's what I can say. There's a problem. Colorado Springs person identified as non-binary. The Denver person identified as trans. Aberdeen, trans. Uvalde, trans. Iowa, a trans activist. I mean, this is a pattern, okay? Now, that is not to say, all LGBTQ people are all trans people, but there is clearly something very concerning going on here within that community, and I believe it is a direct result of the insane, over-the-top rhetoric that the media is using to promote this, to whip them up into a fervor. So this morning, a young individual with a pride flag in their TikTok bio and also posted a video right before the event. You see, this individual person appears to be part of the LGBTQ community with a flag. Well, if you look at my concern is how the media covers it. This was not even... Now, again, this could be a localized thing, but I've talked about it and I showed people. This thing is not even trending #1 for me. And not under the For You tab. I'm talking about the worldwide trending. The #1 thing that's trending is a guy who hit a hole-in-one in a video golf game. Now, maybe it's just the way it's sorted because underneath here you can see this. But, nowhere here, none of this, no gun control now. Why is it gun control now? Or what's the thing that what always trends after this happens is enough is enough. Remember that? It's usually enough is enough, gun control now, and shall not be infringed. These things are always trending 1, 2, and 3 after this stuff happens. Not even in the top 30. Now, that is a direct result, in my opinion, of the way the media is going to cover it and has been not covering. You probably didn't even know this happened. The individual at the high school has been identified, and it appears they were an online LGBTQ activist and part of the community. Within moments of this event happening, their social medias were scrubbed. Like, they were identified and they were deleted within moments. Nobody's talking about it. You can see they're taking apart, people have identified their Reddit things saying, question, for those who haven't started transitioning yet, what's holding you back? He wrote, I don't want to look ugly, apparently. So this individual appeared to be wanting to transition or at some point of transitioning. What can we say? Well, the question is, were they on SSRIs, right? That's what everyone's going to question. Sure seems like a lot of people are. Too many people probably are. Who do they vote for? All this kind of stuff. Well, I happen to think that we have and I will continue to say, we have a mental health problem in this country that continually gets blamed on the tools that the mentally ill use to carry out their mental illness. Okay? I don't know if it's totally insane to say this, but it's also, if you look at the mental health stuff, okay? I wonder if we went back to, remember the Colorado kids? What year was that? 2000? Something like that? Like, I wonder if those kids had done what they done today, if they also would have identified a certain way. It seems like we have a mental illness problem that is being perpetrated, that is being fostered, that is being worshipped by the left, big pharma. I mean, I think we can be 100% sure when I'm talking about the media here. If this guy had 100 pro-Trump posts, they never would have taken his social media down. Never would have taken it down if he had a bunch of pro-Trump posts. That is my belief. Obviously, I can't prove that. But that's what I believe. And this is not, I mean, at what point do we say, holy moly, 0.01% of the population is committing 100% of these, or 75 or 80% of these, like, mental health, I believe it is, and I think some other very smart people might also agree, that essentially what we're having here is mental health problems masquerading as gender non-binary, this, that, and the other thing. So instead of getting these kids the help they need, what do we do? Well, we call big pharma. We pump them full of SSRIs, or we pump them full of hormones, right? You're just confused. Here's a pill. Here's a shot. You're actually a woman. Get back out there and be somebody. It is, nobody, I think it's extremely telling that gun control now, it's enough is enough. None of it is trending. None of it. What does that tell you about our media? What does it tell you about our media? What does it tell you about the left and whether or not they actually give a damn about this stuff? Seriously. How come the left aren't massively posting, gun control now right now? How come they're not tweeting enough is enough right now? This is like the 4th or 5th out of the last 6, from what I can remember, that were either LGBTQ or allies and who all clearly had mental health issues. That is the underlying issue. It's causation and correlation are different things. Obviously, if you go into a place and you do what these losers do, you are demonic. You have serious mental health issues. But perhaps the answer isn't pumping these kids full of pills and shots. It seems like we would have good science on that by now. We've been doing it for 20 years and only at a rapidly accelerating rate over the past 5 years. They sure were quick. What happened to all those angry incels? I thought this was an incel thing. We have an entire generation of young men and women that are being pumped full of propaganda. They are terminally online. I don't mean to sound like a boomer here. I'm probably gonna. But let's not pretend that this kind of stuff was going on in 1980. People are online consuming 20 hours a day, some of these kids, consuming nonstop propaganda. Their parents are not engaged enough. They love their children. They're going to their doctors, and their doctors are saying, well, would you rather your son transition to a girl, or would you rather your son end his life? That is the decision that is being presented to parents who just love their kids. Parents don't want to spend enough time accepting that perhaps the road that they've put their child on is their own fault. Not everything is. Mental health doesn't care. Mental health doesn't care if you're rich or you're poor or you're black or you're white. But maybe we need to stop talking about, maybe we need to stop glorifying these kids, transitioning and getting kids on SSRIs and letting kids sit on their cell phones for 12 hours a day, outsourcing parenting to Chinese apps like TikTok. It's not working. And the left doesn't give a damn, and neither does the right. Okay? If the left cared, right now, gun control now and blah, blah, blah would be trending, and it's not. That proves that they are full of garbage. You can see some of these posts. Now we wait. If any of y'all are reading this from Perry, I'm sorry to hear about this. You all stay safe and reach out. Hero, hope you ended at least a few. Gonna do the same. Here's somebody else who also says they're gonna do the same. Coincidentally, all these comments are on TikTok. I don't know, TikTok or Instagram, I can't be sure. These kids are all terminally online. They don't touch grass. Their parents aren't involved in their lives. They're trying to pill away all their problems. And now more than ever, we have these kids going in to schools and doing this crap. The media doesn't give a damn. Your politicians don't give a damn. They pretend they do when they can gain political points. And ironically, Alex Stein was on the scene, and police stopped answering questions.
Special Agent Mitch Mortvedt from the Iowa DCI there, following up on what Dallas.
Later on today, what you're seeing right now is behind me. It looks like a random journalist who's trying to get questions answered from the state troopers, but obviously, I mean, they've already said that they're not going to be taking any more questions.
Yeah, because they knew. If the student was wearing a Make America Great Again hat, it would be on the front page of everything. These people want this stuff to happen. At least that's my opinion. I hope this video helped make you think about stuff a little bit, and we'll talk to you again real soon.